Hi everyone, welcome to my mindful journaling session at the end of Mind Space Week at the Virtual Village Hall. I've got a couple of activities for you today. Been some cracking activities this week, and I'm hopeful that the prompts that I give you will build on things that you've already had a go at this week. So as you will probably already know if you've been watching any of the workshops, mindfulness is the state of achieving focus and an awareness on the present moment, acknowledging and accepting your feelings, thoughts and bodily sensations without judgment. And it's within the same discipline as meditation. Now, meditation has been scientifically proven to boost your immune system, lower blood pressure, relieve depression, increase productivity, and promote creative thinking. And there are lots of overlaps with writing. Again, there's been American psychologist Dr. James Pennebaker and his colleagues in Austin, Texas, have done lots of work with people, particularly people who have experienced trauma, and who have done regular short bursts of writing. And they found that those participants have the same health benefits. It's documented that they end up having long-term improved health. So just the very act of focusing on your words as you're writing promotes mindfulness. They go hand in hand together. Before we begin, I'm going to encourage you to say hi to me. Tell me where you're listening in from. If you've got any comments as you write that you want to drop into the comment box, that would be great. To know who's out there and who's listening. It can be a little bit lonely sometimes just talking to the camera. It's great to know if someone's out there. So, Tess, hello Tess. Nice to have you along. I hope you enjoy this session and that you get something useful from it. Okay. Yeah. Writing workshops on Zoom. We'll see how it goes. Hello, Tess. Tess from Ipswich is joining us, and we've got Joan from North Lincolnshire. Hello, Sarah Pearson. Jules from Cloudy Blackpool. And Sue Owen from Wiltshire. Thank you for joining me. Okay. I've got quite a lot to get through, and once again, I've overplanned. I'll put all these prompts up on my website this evening after, so any that I don't manage to get to today, you feel free to download them and have a go at them. If you haven't got time to do them now, or you just want to listen to the prompts and maybe watch the recording and do them at your leisure, feel free. It might be quite nice to do them outside. Some of the activities are particularly applicable to outside. I'm going to try and do them as an inside thing, and we'll see how we go. Hello, Fiona from Reading and Christina from Beckenham. Okay, so my first thing. So recognise that writing is good for you. It's been documented. As I say, that the guy in America found out by accident when he was using a writing activity to study something else. Shakespeare, as long ago as Shakespeare was saying, give your sorrow words, the grief that does not speak whispers to the o'erfraught heart and bids it break. So if you don't write it out of you, if you don't get the words out of you, you risk breaking your heart. Ted Hughes in the 60s said that writing is trying to take fuller possession of the reality of your life, to attack it and get it under control. It's a bit of an aggressive stance on writing, but I can understand where he's coming from. Poet Blake Morrison said the process of articulating truths can be restorative, healing, even life-saving. And he was talking again about painful truths. Today we're trying not to focus on the painful, but I'll come to that in a minute. So, hello Anna Marie from Yorkshire. So, a very well-respected memoirist, she's written a book and the name of which has just gone out of my head. Natalie Goldberg, Writing Down the Bones. Her book is, and her book is about how to tackle writing your life story and bits of it that may be difficult. She says, the desire to understand ourselves in the heat of living. Writing is the desire to understand ourselves in the heat of living while life is fresh. In the centre of our speed, in the chord of our forward movement, we are often confused and lonely. Writing is the act of reaching across the abyss of isolation to share and reflect. And I know from members of my writing group that some people will find the idea that writing, the act of writing, is restorative and a useful process. Might find that quite difficult. I know some people find writing a painful thing in itself, particularly if we've had bad experiences at school because of our writing. But give it a go. Don't worry about what it should look like. The very act of it being mindful is, I want you to concentrate on yourself and the things around you, and not on whether your sentences are neat or your spelling's correct or you're doing it properly. Just the idea is to have the thoughts, have the experiences, channel them through you and let them come out of your pen however they come out. No one's going to be checking on it unless you want to share any. Hello, Christine. I'm glad you didn't miss it. It's nice to see you. So yeah, feel free to share little snippets in the comments as you go along if you want to. Okay, so a lot of those quotes from writers were about trauma, but we're not going to be focusing on trauma today, although it can be useful. I know that from personal experiences, writing about traumatic incidents and traumatic parts of our past and reworking them can help you sort through them and put them to bed. But today I'm going to, Emma Hackett did a wonderful moment of mindfulness session earlier in the week and talked about positive psychology and how it focuses on the good in us. Looks at our strengths and helps us to see how we can build on the good in our lives. And that's what the focus of today's mindfulness session is. We want to work on a positive mindset and building resilience by an awareness of what we're feeling. So with that, I will just add the caveat that writing can be illuminating and opening, but it also can be painful. So if you do find that you're getting upset and wandering into territory in your writing that is traumatic for you and upsetting you, stop. Self-care is really, really important. And stop and do something that makes you feel better, that cheers you up if you find yourself wandering that way. Okay, so I'm borrowing a Natalie Goldberg activity first. Keep an eye on the time. Okay, 8 minutes in. And this is one that Natalie calls just sitting, or she calls it do the Neola, after the name of one of the pupils in her writing classes, who she told to go and sit in a cafe. Now, it would be best if you could either sit outside and do this, or sit in a cafe and do this. It'd be great if some of you are in a cafe doing this. That would be fantastic. But if not, at home, just sit. I'm going to read what Natalie said, an abbreviated version of what she said. Drop everything. Just sit for 20 minutes. Don't worry if 15 of the 20 are spent obsessing about some random thing. That's natural. Your mind will want to wander at first. It takes a while for it to settle. There's no rush. There's no great place you've got to be. You are just sitting. And she likens it to shaking up a bottle with vinegar and oil in. When you put the bottle down, you've got to wait for the vinegar to sink to the bottom. And that's what we need to do with this mindfulness activity. Sit calmly for 20 minutes and let our thoughts settle. For the oil to become clear. Sit still and watch what's going on inside you, but what's going on around you too. Think of what you can see around you, smell, touch, taste, feel even if you want to. Close your eyes if you wish, if you want to think about how you feel inside. Listen to your own breathing. Listen to the sounds around you. Don't exclude anything. The bark of a dog, the tick of a clock, the shush of the central heating, the colour of the sky through the window, the smell of roses in a vase, the sound of your own breathing coming through your chest, through your ears. Think how you feel in that moment, sitting still in the peace and quiet of your home or wherever you happen to be. Forget about writing technique. There is no success or failure. No being right on the point. There is no point. Just go between your breaths. Your notebook becomes luminous. You suddenly know what to write. Natalie says, trust yourself. Trust that you know what to write, anything that comes out. And if it helps, you could imagine that you are writing me a postcard of the news, what's happening, where you are in your space, in your 20 minutes. You could write it to me if you want to. All the sounds and sights around you. Or you could just write a list of everything you can see, hear, smell, taste, feel. 20 minutes. I'm going to put my timer on. So it's going to be a longish activity. I'm going to give 15 minutes on here and then I'll give you a prompt. The time is ticking away. If you find that you finish, just keep going. Just write anything that comes. The more you write, the deeper into the well you go and the more ideas that come up. Focus on now. Okay, 15 minutes. Hi Annie, we're just doing a quick writing activity. We've got about maybe 10 minutes left. Sitting still where we are and writing about what we can see, hear and feel around us, and looking inside ourselves as to how we feel. Just got another 7 minutes on the clock and then we'll do a quick roundup. Welcome. Hi Sarah, yes, we're just doing a quick activity, sitting still and writing what you can see, hear, smell, feel around you and how you feel yourself. Just a few more minutes. So you come to the end of that piece. Write how you feel. How are you feeling? So you could begin it with I feel. I feel. I see. I smell. I taste. Can you taste anything in your mouth? I hear. Minutes. Finish the sentence that you're on. Okay, I hope you found that useful. So, as Natalie Goldberg said to Neola in her writing group, a cafe would be an excellent place to do that, to be listening to the sounds around you. But home works okay too. I'll have a quick rundown mine. The beauty about this kind of writing is you're not writing it with the aim to do anything with it. You don't need to turn it into a story or a poem, although you could if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. But it's really just a play and throwaway activity to encourage you to concentrate on the moment. So I've got the hum of the computer, the tick, tick, tick of the egg timer beside me, ticking down the seconds, the greyness of the day peeping through the blinds here. And I could see the tall overlong grasses tapping the window pane in a stiff breeze on the outside as if they want to come in. A reminder that the garden needs weeding, so the feeling then was shame that I don't weed the garden. The two yellow glow of the bulbs in the glass lampshades. A band of pain tight across the back of my head, a face mask shape against my scalp and my hairband pinching. Shadows beneath the picture frames above me. I breathe a deep breath, stretch my shoulders, my ears pop, like popping candy on the tongue. And I carried on like that. If you want to choose a sentence or two from yours and type it in the comments, that would be lovely. Be lovely to see them. As I say, it can be a bit lonely talking to the camera and not knowing if anyone's listening. So it's great to see you signing in today. Thank you. Okay, so that was Natalie Goldberg and her mindfulness activities. When I was putting this together, I do a particular kind of journaling myself, which hopefully, if we get time, I will get to and explain to you. But if not, the notes will be on my website this evening. But I asked friends on Facebook what their thoughts were on mindfulness journaling. And Jane Thomas, who's a Pilates teacher, said, Alison, I journal every day for my mindset. Journaling for me is based around living in this moment now, the present state, rather than the past or the future, where anxiety and worry can set in. She also uses it to be reflective about negative thoughts and feelings and behaviour, and also physical symptoms that she has. So she can become aware of patterns of thought and the effects that they have on her mindset that she might have got stuck in. For me, it's about personal acceptance and self-awareness and recognising that we have a choice. And then, thank you for that, Jane. And then my writer friend Beverly Ward, who's a writer in the Sheffield area, for any of you up in Yorkshire, look her up. She's got a writing workshop. There's lots of fun writing things, including mindfulness writing. Pop along and join in some of her sessions in Sheffield. Alison, essentially mindfulness is paying attention and staying in the moment. So the best way to do that is to use the 5 senses and describe what's around you, which we've just had a go at doing, and what's happening in the moment. Bringing your mind back to your teacup, the sound of the rain, taking time to notice the little things. So every time your mind wanders, keep bringing it back to concentrate just on the small, the now, here and now within you and around you. The challenge for writers is not to then leap off onto a different time and place. And I agree that is quite hard. Okay, let's quick see what we have in the comments. Hi, Fiona. A tree moving in the breeze. Guinea pigs squeaking. Beautiful. Joan, my cat's purring noisily on my knee. Squirrel burying conkers in the grass. Wonderful. Christine Ryan, a small cough comes and momentarily disturbs me. Wonderful. Tess says, Joan, my cat's snoring. Oh, sorry, cat. One cat. Joan, my cat's snoring, stretched on my knee. That's lovely. We must be very calming. I wonder, does your breathing slow down to match the cat's? I've heard that happens sometimes. And Irene, I don't know if I said hello to you, Irene. Hello, Irene. Thank you for joining us. Right, so Beverly, what are we on? We've had half an hour already. Beverly suggested an activity that would involve holding an object and feeling it and smelling it and asking yourself questions about it. I'm going to try that. This is where the difficulty, I don't know whether you will have an object near to you, but if I assume that you have, you can find something. Natural objects are fantastic. So I've grabbed a conker that I picked up in town yesterday. As I was walking through a car park, I bent down and picked up a conker to rescue it from being smashed on the road. I've got some shells here also that I picked up on holiday in the summer. And for lack of something natural objects are brilliant, as I say. I found a pear and an apple that I could hold. I also thought I could use my plant, actually, feeling the plant. It was very, very interesting. So I'm going to assume, I'll make this a quick activity in case you don't have anything. Let me give it 7 minutes on this one. See how we go with that. I'm going to hold an object and give you some questions. So hold the object. You can close your eyes if you want to. Right. I'll watch the clock. I won't do the ticker this time. So hold your object in your hand. Close your eyes if you wish. And just feel it for a few minutes. Run your hands over it. What does it feel like? Think of words to describe. All those words we used to use at school in science. Smooth. Rough. Is it hard or soft? Does it resist your touch? This apple's got skin on it, so I can feel the skin moving as I rub it. Smell it. Does it have a smell? It's got quite an earthy smell, actually, but also smells of apple. Delicious. Ask yourself some questions about it. Where did it come from? How did it come into your possession? Is it an old object? Does it have a memory associated with it for you? Was it something with a practical use? Could it be a metaphor for something in your life? So apples are linked to the story of Adam and Eve. New life, their flesh is eaten away and the seeds in the centre become new life, new growth next year. The apple is the product at the end of a tree's year, the dying of the leaves before winter. But the seeds inside are a metaphor for spring and renewal, feeding, nourishment. If this apple could give you a message, what might it be? If it was your object is an inanimate object, but if it could give you a message, what would that message be? Okay. Whatever object you happen to have handy, or maybe hopefully you've managed to grab something, even if it's not a natural object, a pen. Your pen, use your pen. Okay? And then one last question. If you could gift this object to somebody, who would you gift it to and why? Okay, 7 minutes on the clock. Now, write whatever comes into your head. Anything. Any thoughts. Quick 7-minute write about that object. Time's almost up. I want to finish the piece that you're on. Okay, so I surprised myself with my notes there. It's going to buzz in a minute. I hope you managed to get some bits down about an object around you. So, yeah, I was really strong. Forcibly came to mind was I bought this apple as a nutrition, as a lunchtime nutrition for my offspring, who is no longer a child but will always be my child and is here with me at the moment. And I suddenly saw it as a symbol of us, really. A skin that's giving a little as it's aging, but with the seeds inside that represent her. So my autumn is her spring is one thing I put. We coexist currently. Her existence will carry on mine one day when I am gone. My gift to her, the apple, a symbol of continuity, nourishment, growth, and hope. There you go. I didn't expect that to come out, but there you go. So, Joan, you said, yeah, breathing definitely slows down when listening to purring and stroking my cat. She is very calming. That's lovely. Cats are wonderful for that. I'm very physically stick you in place because they want your knee. Okay, so I'd like to... Ria sent me some wonderful thoughts on journaling. I find it hard just to write about what I'm feeling, but when I have a particular focus, a prompt really helps me. She sent me some really useful prompts, with lots of positive prompts. Reasons to be hopeful that I could be more mindful of, I particularly liked. Some positive things about myself I could be more mindful of. And then there was one that my daughter and I do a similar thing. We both did a similar thing. What are some of the things I could do to help recharge my batteries when I'm feeling worn out or low? My daughter and I came across a video by somebody who does ADHD videos and suggested making a menu of activities that boost your mental energy and your happiness levels, and having that ready, quick things, so that when you do feel low, you quickly go and look at the list and find something that will boost you to curb that feeling. So thank you for those, Ria. I've got only about 10-12 minutes left, so I need to speed on though. I won't get to talk about that one. What I'm going to do is very quick activity then. So I don't know if you know of Brené Brown. Brené Brown is an American research professor in the University of Houston, Texas. Lots of psychologists from Texas I'm mentioning today. And she spent decades studying the topics of courage, vulnerability, shame, and empathy. Basically, what helps people successful practices that people who manage the difficulties of life that we all face, the things that they do to help them. And she's got several books out, one of which is called Daring Greatly. All her books are fab, and reading Brené Brown has changed my life and the way that I think and act as a human being. She said, very quickly, she's talking about the tendency to forebode joy. That's where you, I'll just tell you. A man in his early 60s told me, she said, I used to think the best way to go through life was to expect the worst. That way, if it happened, you were prepared, and if it didn't happen, you were pleasantly surprised. And then he went on to tell her that he regretted having done that because he lost his wife in a car accident, and realizing and realised that expecting the worst didn't prepare him for that worst, for that eventuality, and it actually stopped him enjoying the time that he had with her. He wished he could go back and just simply enjoy the moment of being with his wife, because he felt he wasted that time. Bunny Brown says, we rehearse tragedy. We don't want to be caught off guard, so we literally practice being devastated or never move from disappointment. I'll be disappointed now because I know it's coming, that attitude. And the only way she has found at her study of the thousands of people that she studied, the only way of moving beyond that, the antidote to foreboding joy, is to practice gratitude. And so I thought we'd do a quick, we have 11 minutes left, quick 7-minute practicing gratitude, and just a list, focusing on the positive. Begin a list of as many things as you can think of that you are grateful for. I am grateful for. Keep going and going and going until your ideas run out. And then just think of something else. Because the more you force yourself to do it, the more unusual things come up, as I've said before. And if you'd like to choose one in the next 10 minutes and post it in the comments, please do. I'd love to see them. So I am grateful for, go. Okay, I'm actually going to stop there now. I could go on writing my own, focusing on the positives, but I'll give you a few quick ones. I'm grateful for the pen, paper, the time to write today. My children and the wonderful people they are. I'm a very lucky mum. The smell of an apple. The flu jab I had yesterday, which will keep me safe in the winter, even though I feel terrible today, crappy today. I'm grateful for my friends, the friends that I have, and my family, my parents, even though they're no longer with me. I'm grateful to have had them and the love that they gave to me. The warmth in my home, the autumn colours. I'm very grateful for the people who shared their ideas with me for writing prompts today. Thank you all very much. And I'm grateful to you for all turning up today. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Okay, so Jules McGowan, I'm grateful. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jules. I'm grateful to you for sharing this time. Thank you very much. I'm grateful to you, Jules, for coming along too. Okay. Yep, 4 minutes left. I can quickly click through. So the practice, the journaling that I do mostly is something Julia Cameron put together probably 25, maybe 30 years ago. She was a film writer. Also, she teaches writing, an author, playwright, novelist as well, a bit of a poet. And she came up with a system from her own life when she was very unhappy of getting up in the morning and writing 3 A4 sheets of writing in the morning. Stream of consciousness, that's the phrase. First thing she does, doesn't even have a cup of tea, I don't think, sits at a window. I have a cup of tea, and just writes 3 pages of streams of consciousness. And it was suggested to me a very long time ago by a group of writers. And so I first did it about 2012, and I was made redundant from a job. And at first, I never knew what to write, but I would sit there. Even if you begin writing, I have absolutely no idea what to write. You don't know what to write, you just still keep writing and writing and writing. And eventually, not even quite quickly for me, things started to come up, the things that I needed to sort out would splash themselves across the 3 pages. And it really did help me sort out my life, how I felt about things, what I wanted to do next, problems, issues, things that I was happy about. Now, Julia Cameron suggests you do this. She calls it a bedrock tool of creative recovery. She suggests you do this without expecting you to go back and look at it. There's no expectation that you ever look at them again. And when you've done the 3 pages today, get up tomorrow morning and do 3 then. I don't do them every morning, but I do find when I know when I need to go back and do them, particularly if things are just going round and round in my head. I find it really useful. And I had friends chip in. Michelle said that she did that. It's the book that Julia Cameron wrote it in was called The Artist's Way. It's a very well-known book. And Michelle worked through The Artist's Way with a group a few years ago. That sounds like a good idea. Doing it as a collective experience. And a friend, Hazel, said she began by doing very short spurts in the morning, but it very quickly became more 3 minutes at first, and then it very quickly became more, much more of a diary than a creative exercise. Good for her mental health. It was a big step to buy a new notepad and give myself the space and time to write it, and that is true. It's a commitment to self, and that you have the right to your thoughts and to share them, even if just to yourself. I learned a lot about myself and became more confident of my inner voice. It has rarely translated to a creative piece, and mine never do. I've never turned mine into anything creative. But interestingly, I did start dating them, put the dates on them and put them in a Lever Arch folder. Particularly in lockdown, I went through them all in lockdown and filed a lot of old ones. And I find them quite useful. Sometimes I do look back at them, particularly if I'm going through a tough time. So, for instance, around the anniversary of one of my parents' deaths, I will look, or if there's something I'm particularly worried about, I'll go and look back at other years. And what I found is really useful is noticing that there was something that I was really, really worried about, and yet it passed. 2 years have passed, and I'm still alive, and I'm still okay. I'm worrying about other things now. It really does get you to put your worries into perspective a little. So yeah, The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron. We haven't got time to do 3 pages now, but as I say, I will type up these notes and I'll tidy up these notes, and they will be on my website, www.alisonmott.com. I should have them up this evening, definitely by tomorrow morning. If you want more information on those, I'll put some links into them as well. Thank you for coming along. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you next time we do a writing activity. Bye.